Morning and welcome to another episode of What's Up with Mr. Beck. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. Okay, right off the jump, if you are not on Teams, you need to call me. There's only 3 of you left. 3. I took it from 10 to 3. There's 3 of you left who have not signed in to Teams or have turned in a homework assignment on Teams. So let's get on it. We can get it. Let's finish it off. I want to be on here tomorrow saying, everyone's on Teams. Okay, so let's go right into good news. Hit it, Liam.
Come on and tell me something really good, or else my team is going to be in very last place. So tell me something good, and our team might just be in first if we are very, very lucky.
Wow. I'm not going to lie to you, Liam. I laughed so loud when I first watched this that I woke up baby Aylin. That was awesome. Thanks for being creative. I gave you 10 points for that. Somebody beat that. Doubt it. Okay, going into good news. We got Coleman. Yesterday was Coleman's birthday, so he had tons of awesome things going on. He had tacos in a bag for dinner. There's a picture of all the cards that he got for his birthday. And there was a parade from the fire department. Lucky. Then I have Brock, who he told us he was going to go fishing yesterday. Guess what? He caught some fish. Check them out. Curtis, I got to play with my cute dog outside while it was wet and sprinkling. Awesome. Thank you, Jarek. Got some good news from Jarek again 2 days in a row. Can you make it 3? Can you make it 3? He finished a Lego set. I know a good way that you can make it 3, Jarek. Send us a picture of the Lego set. And then my last news, not a lot of news today, was Michaela Shaw. And she said, my mom and I played Yahtzee and I won by 140 this time. You didn't brag though this time because you learned from Mr. Beck last time from What's Up with Mr. Beck, right? Right, Michaela? You didn't brag this time? Because winners, they just win. They don't do anything else. Okay? All right, so let's go into the CNN 10. Today, actually, before I do that, I want to talk about turning in on the CNN 10 on Teams, right? So you have, I don't want you to try to do yesterday's if you didn't turn in. If you didn't turn it in, you're going to get a 0. Okay? But it's not the end of the world. This is a training period. We're learning. We're getting into it. Next week, though, if I don't have it in on Teams, 0, and it goes in the grade book. Right now, I'm going to let it go. I will be calling people who did not turn it in because that's what I'm going to do. Every single time you don't turn in an assignment, I'm going to be making a phone call. Okay? I want you to make sure that you're turning your stuff in. Your parents will know if you're not turning your stuff in. It's not going to be like, oh, I did it. Then they'll not know. I promise. If it's a 0, if you didn't turn it in to me, I am calling. Do you want to be embarrassed when you told your parents that you finished your homework and you didn't? You got to decide. You got to be responsible here. So I got a couple tips too for doing the CNN 10 on Teams. Doing the CNN 10 on Teams, save the copy first. I got a couple emails yesterday saying, hey, Mr. Beck, I can't edit this. You got to make sure you go to save a copy if you're working on your iPad, which I highly recommend. Hayden, we should be doing everything on our iPad right now. It's just easier with Teams. That works really well together. But in the top left corner, top left corner, you will see a rectangle with a dot. It kind of looks like a piece of paper with a little folded over, and then that'll pop up. You want to make sure you hit save a copy. If it ever says, I can't edit this, save a copy. What are you going to do? Save a copy. And when you save that copy on the CNN 10, you need to make sure you put the date on the name of the file. Because if you don't, you're going to get really confused because you're going to do a ton of CNN 10s in the next couple weeks. And when you're doing them, you want to put the date so you can, when you're in your file in your folder, you can be like, oh, today is the 22nd, so let's use that one. So always for the CNN 10, it'll be CNN 10. For me, it would be RB 4/22. That would mean April 22nd, right? So it would mean that Rich Beck turned it in on 4/22. Makes sense? Okay. And another pro tip, Amelia Miller. She's the first one to do this that I saw. She deleted the lines that were there because you're not handwriting it, right? So you could just delete those lines that are there and you could type in your answer. Okay? Try to work on the formatting. If you see that you have tons of numbers there that shouldn't be there, try to fix that. Just try. If you can't figure it out, you can't figure it out. It's no big deal, no sweat. If you turn it in and you've got your sentences done right, I'm fine. I'm not going to freak out about numbers. Okay, so that kind of breaks down the CNN 10. What do I expect? I expect it to be turned in every time I do it. I'm only going to do 3 CNN 10s a week. Okay, so you will be off on Monday. Free NN 10. You watch it. You don't turn it in. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you will have a CNN 10 assignment that you need to turn into me every day. All 3 of those days. Okay? Friday, still free NN 10 because Fridays are awesome. Okay, so today on the CNN 10. Today on the CNN 10. Crude oil prices become negative before turning around. Florida beaches see a silver lining to the disease pandemic, and we tour an ancient city of North Africa. Sounds interesting. Can't wait to see what's going on today on the CNN 10. First thing I think about is impact of disease. I also think about crude oil prices. I hear the word prices, so that means that's a clue. Okay. So the next thing you're going to see is my PowerPoint presentation for Lesson 2. Very important. Make sure that you're paying attention to everything that is said here. We're talking about the land bridge. Thinking. After that, there's going to be a short YouTube video that I screen grabbed. And then we'll do the precept, and that's it. So enjoy the lesson. Make sure you're paying attention. Hello and welcome to Lesson 2 of our COVID learning experience. We have started learning about the early Native Americans. Welcome to Lesson 2. How did they get here? How did those early Native Americans get here? I really don't understand. I think they must have crossed a bridge. But was it like a bridge that somebody made? That cars drove down? It was not a bridge like we see today. It was a land bridge that connected Russia and North America together. It was a land bridge. This right here is a picture of the Bering Strait. A strait is known as a waterway that separated 2 large bodies of water. The Bering Strait separates the Pacific Ocean from the Arctic Ocean. We see that here. You know how Mr. Beck likes to do it. I like to give you a satellite, what it really looks like in a map. And in the map, you can clearly see where the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean are separated by the Bering Strait. And you're thinking to yourself, well, Mr. Beck, I don't really see any land there. That's okay. Let's see it from Google Earth. Welcome to Earth. Here, you will find an amazing planet full of interesting continents and many, many things. But today, we ask the question, how did they get here? And when we say they, we mean the early Native Americans. They crossed on something known as a strait. A strait is a narrow waterway that separates two large bodies of water. Once upon a time, there was a connecting bridge, land bridge, made of ice and land between Asia and North America. That, kids, is one theory of how they got there. All right, so let's get a little bit more understanding on the Bering Strait. The Bering Strait was not always around. Many years ago, Alaska and Russia were actually connected by a narrow strip of land. But after the Ice Age, glaciers melted and the sea rose, covering the strip of land. Okay, whew, thinking about the Ice Age, that gets me cold. Okay, so you can see in this map here, um, kind of like how the depth of the water, and when the glaciers were frozen, the water level was lower, and you can see where you see the light that was actually not covered in water like it is today. And then next I have, what did those researchers say? Researchers believed that the first humans left Africa and came to North America and spread southward towards South America. They believed that the only way they could have made it to North America was by the land bridge. Other people think they could have possibly sailed there. So I have an awesome image of some examples of what they thought could have happened. So I'll work from left to right. And I like using the key to help me. I know that the gray is going to be additional land. Um, Glaciation is going to be that light blue, which means it's kind of like covered in glaciers. And we see the coastal route, which is the first one on the left. And that would be your sailing boats. And you would sail across the coast, hunting the fish, occasionally going on land and going southward. Then you have the overland route, which they crossed the Bering Strait. You see where it says Bering Land Bridge, and they worked their way down, okay, to South America. And then I like this one. This one's interesting to me. From Europe, they traveled on their way down. And those are some of the ways that people came to North America, all at different times, as you can see here. 21,000 years ago, 21,000 years ago, what the land looked like. 20,000 to 15,000 years ago would be that first coastal route. 14,000 years ago, right here, this route. And then 24 to 18,000 years ago, that'd be this one here. Okay, so that's that. Then we have the first people. Woohoo! In the 1930s, scientists found some unusual spear points in Clovis, New Mexico. This led scientists to decide that the Clovis people must have been the America's first people, or the first Americans, around 13,000 years ago. Native Americans have more spiritual explanations for how their people arrived here, but scientists do not pay attention to these theories. There's a couple tribes specifically that really put a lot of effort in their stories, and that's how they explain everything that has happened in the world, whether it's the sun coming up or how a moose got its antlers. They have a story for it. Okay, so that's one of, and scientists, they don't really believe stories. They want that proof. They want to see scientific backing for how this happened. They want to be able to do it again. So Native Americans had that culture of telling stories. However, nowadays, scientists, they want the facts. So it's a little bit different. Okay. I have a video that I'm going to play next.
Scientists believe people came to North America during the last ice age, which was around 14,000 years ago. The sea level was lower then, so there was land between Alaska and Siberia. It is referred to as a land bridge. If you look at a map now, that area is covered with water. As time has gone on, ice has melted and filled in that area with water. This area is now called the Bering Strait. Because this land bridge is covered by the ocean now, there is no proof that people actually moved between Alaska and Siberia. There are no artifacts or evidence, but instead, this land bridge idea is a theory. The people that lived 14,000 years ago and might have crossed that land bridge are called Paleo-Indians. Paleo-Indians were probably following herds of animals for food. They hunted mammoths and other large animals using stone-tipped spears. Later, they learned high-tech tricks like how to use bows and arrows and how to store food in baskets. When their food ran out, they had to move on. This is how scientists have come up with the theory that Paleo-Indians crossed the land bridge.
All right. So we enjoyed that video. We learned more about how they got here. Today's work, number one, which you're already doing because you're watching this now, is I want you to watch What's Up with Mr. Beck. That should always be number one. That's what you do first every day. Then you're going to turn in your Research a Cultural Group research page on Teams. You must turn it in on Teams. Don't try to send it to me in chat. You need to go to assignments and turn it in. If you need help with turning in an assignment, I'm always here for you. Then you have another CNN 10. So please make sure you watch CNN 10 and you will turn it in on Teams. We need to practice. We need to get better at turning in stuff on Teams. I do not want you to go back and try to do yesterday's. Okay? This first week I'm going to be nice. If you made a mistake and you could not submit it, that's fine. However, starting next week, grades will be going into my grade book when it comes to the CNN 10. Then number 4 is start your Research a Cultural Group PowerPoint. You're going to use what you turned in today to help you with your PowerPoint. I kind of already labeled them. I want there to be 7 slides. I know that it says 6, but I accidentally put 4 twice. Whoops, I'm human. So 7 slides there. You can use exactly word for word what you've already put down for your research. However, I do want you to add pictures, okay? And I want it to look nice. You don't need a million animations, but if you want to have some transitions in there, that's fine. No music. Please, please, please. I'm going to pick one for each topic or each tribe, and I'm going to have you guys do a presentation for it for the class. And if I choose you, you will get a phone call from me, and I'll teach you how to do a screen record. So you can record yourself talking through your presentation, kind of like I am right now. Okay, and that, not the talking part, but just the PowerPoint itself will be due Friday at 8 p.m. I like 8 p.m. because that means you're not working late, and I want you to enjoy your weekend. Okay. All right. That was an awesome lesson. Thank you, Mr. Beck. Great lesson, Mr. Beck. You're the best. I'm going to hit you with the precept. Go. Today's precept. Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. And what does that mean? It means that you're going to be faced with tough situations in life. Things are going to get hard. And you got to find that sunny side. Even though it's a bad thing, something good has come out of it. That's today's precept. Find the good in the bad. Mic drop. All right, and that's all we have time for today's show. Things I want to tell you and remind you about. You have an assignment that's due today. The Research a Cultural Group is due today. A lot of people have already turned it in. If you haven't turned it in yet, you know who you are. Reach out to me if you need help. I want to recommend trying it on your iPad first and opening it up into Word. Then you'll save that copy. And once you save the copy, you should be able to edit the document. Okay, so I'm out of here. Hashtag choose kind. Hashtag go Bills. Draft is Thursday. We're going to draft better than the fish. Faux show. And stay awesome. Mr. Beck out. Go Bills.